Hi, my name is Kaylee and welcome back to my channel where we talk about everything backcountry and sustainability. Today, we are going to talk about options for using the restroom in the backcountry and how we can eliminate or greatly reduce your single-use paper product footprint. The first thing we're going to talk about today has to do with peeing in the backcountry. And for that, we're going to talk about culo cloths. Culo cloths are an option for people who wipe or blot when they pee. It is an antimicrobial square of cloth that has a waterproof side on it and has a side on it that you use to wipe or blot. You can also, because this is black and antimicrobial, you can also use this if you're menstruating to continue to wipe or pee. I wouldn't use this to clean up a bloodied area, but if you happen to be menstruating and you need to pee, you can absolutely use this. Another couple cool features on culo cloths are the snapped areas. Once it's snapped like this, it's not only discreet, but it helps not get pee on your stuff as you hang it from your backpack. But this little area right here is reflective, so it helps you, and it's easy to see it in the middle of the night when you have to pee. These are super easy to wash. So the way that I like to wash them when I'm in the backcountry is I just get a little bit of soap on my hands and I put some of my potable water on there, kind of work up a little lather, but literally just a couple droplets of soap, not a ton. And then I get this surface, this black surface, lathered up, rinse it with more potable water, and really, really just squeeze the bejesus out of it, because the more water you get out, the quicker that it will dry. And you only really need to wash it like that once a day. So hang it up in your tent or from a tree overnight and it will dry out. You can throw this in the washing machine when you get into town if you are through hiking, or if you're doing a short trip out into the backcountry and coming back home, you can throw it in the washing machine. But I do not recommend using a fabric softener, and I also do not recommend putting it in the dryer. So just regular soap and water, air dry, good to go. Some people don't either want to spend the money or don't have the means to spend the money on a culo cloth. So another really good option is to use a bandana, and you can either cut it in half, cut it in quarters, however much fabric that you like to have to feel like you are not putting your pee on other items that you have that you're carrying it with. I personally don't use this. I use the culo cloth, but I know a lot of people who like to wipe or blot when they pee like to use a bandana. And it's also a really great way to reuse a bandana that might be past its life for fashion or for nose blowing or something like that. So keeping the bandana in use is a great option. And the next thing we're going to talk about is pooping and how to kind of clean up after you're done pooping so you don't have to use as much toilet paper. I realize that even with some of these options, people might like to continue to use toilet paper, and I'll talk about kind of what I do and options that I feel really good with. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is a bidet that you can use in the backcountry. This one is called Happy Bottom. It's really easy to use. It's almost kind of like a water bottle, right? It's a little silicone. You just fill it with water, and then you twist this top on, flip it upside down, and this little it's not really a hose because it's harder plastic, but this area has a little nozzle on the end. It's like a shower head attachment. And as you squeeze, the force from the squeeze will shoot water up and it will clean your area. It is, and if you have not used a bidet before, it is wet, right? You are cleaning with water. So some people, when they're using a bidet, still like to use toilet paper to kind of blot the area clean after they're done washing it. Another option is to have a pee rag where you have cut half of the bandana in half, right? And you use half for a pee rag, half for a blotting rag, you're not using this for poop. This is only to dry your butt after it has been thoroughly cleaned with the bidet. So you could use that. Another option is to use like a reusable washcloth that's made out of this like soft cotton flannel. Same situation. We are not using this to clean up poop. At home, you can have reusable toilet paper made of this, and you can clean it and throw it in the washing machine and clean it out. But we don't have that option in the backcountry, so I highly recommend not using this to actually clean up poop, just to dry out the bottom area. So this is one backcountry bidet. I know that there are several options out there, and there are also ultralight options. It's just like this little shower nozzle attachment. It's about this big, and it just goes onto the top of a single-use plastic water bottle, and you just use your water bottle basically as your bidet. So again, same principle as you're squeezing the water from your water bottle, it'll shoot out the end and it'll clean out your area. And some people might find that, especially if you're just getting into using it, people might find it to be kind of scary, right? Because you're using your clean water bottle to spray your butt with water. And so if you don't like have the angle right, you know, you might have some like poop flying everywhere. So if you don't feel comfortable with that, stick to one of these guys. If you're an old pro at the bidet, try the ultralight one. I personally still carry a little bit of toilet paper, and the reason that I like to carry toilet paper is you just never know what kind of situation you're going to get into, right? Like, especially when you're in the backcountry, especially if you're through hiking, you're trying new foods, you're doing new things. I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I carry extra toilet paper with me. Now, I don't prefer to use it, but that's like a safety, like backup option that I have. So that's poop and pee. Let's now talk about options for people who menstruate in the backcountry. There are a ton of options out there for people. So today we're going to talk about cups and reusable liners, but we're going to kind of like caveat that, right? So I'm only going to talk about one. I'm going to show one type of cup today, but there are like numerous types of cups. So a cup is a very personal decision, and it really depends on your body's anatomy and like what you feel comfortable with. And like, I highly recommend before choosing a cup to go and try a bunch of different ones out in town and before you leave for the trail, right? So get comfortable with your body, get comfortable with how the cup works, figure out if it has to have suction, if it doesn't. There are discs that are very similar to cups. There's no suction involved. So there's lots of different options that are reusable, that are like insertable. Now, let's talk about kind of their principles, right? How they work. This brand specifically, and this model has actually 2 different cups in it, which is quite nice if you are new to like using cups. So you can kind of figure out how heavy your flow is or what size feels best for you. Or this is great if you have a flow that kind of fluctuates and you want to have different options. So the way that cups work is there's like a little cup that gets inserted into your opening, and it sits up against your cervix. So it's like this, right? And it collects your menstruation blood, and then you can pull the cup out and you dig a cat hole, pour your blood in the cat hole, rinse and clean your cup, pour that into the cat hole, and rebury it. Same principles apply for burying your menstruation blood as peeing and pooping. So you want to make sure that you are far enough away from water sources so that you're not contaminating them. So we've buried our blood, we've cleaned out our cup. It can be reinserted, and about, I would say, it depends on your flow, but for me, about once a week, when I'm using it, I clean it very, very thoroughly. And to do that, you boil water and you can boil your cup in water. All of the cups that I know of are made out of medical grade silicone and can be boiled and will not melt. So that is the best way to sterilize them. Obviously, make sure that you're not touching it when it's in boiling water, or all of those safety things that you would use common sense for. But boiling them and then letting them dry completely, you can then put them in their carrying case and it's ready for you for the next time that you need to use it. So it's really nice because it's kind of flexible throughout your day. It can hold a lot of liquid, so you might only need to change your cup maybe like 1 or 2 times as opposed to several times with tampons and pads. And with those items, even if they're, let's say, organic cotton, right, with a recycled applicator, those things still have to be packed out. And it's something that you have to keep track of, right? So I don't recommend personally using tampons or pads. Some people, that's what they feel most comfortable with. So again, if that's what you choose to do, make sure you're practicing good land stewardship, and pack them out and bring them with you and dispose of them properly. Along with this cup, I also recommend using a reusable panty liner, especially if you are new to using cups. You can have some leakage and spillage, not a ton, but a little bit. So using a reusable liner is a great option. It's often made out of soft flannel cotton, just like that reusable dishcloth was. I would not recommend going up farther on the chain in pads than a liner. So I wouldn't use like a regular or super and overnight because they're super absorbent, which is great, but in the backcountry, you don't have time for those to dry out. Like, they take forever to wash by hand, they take a lot of water to rinse out, and then they take forever to dry. So the liners are a great size, they're lightweight, you can use this, and they should dry out overnight. You wash this just like you wash your Kula cloth. That's really simple. Thank you so much for joining me. I know we covered a lot. If you have any questions, please drop them down below. Thank you so much again for coming, and I'll see you on my next adventure.